Are you a man over 50? Let me ask you something personal. Do you feel as if you've sat on a golf ball or a tennis ball? Do you find yourself planning your entire day, your errands, your car rides, around the location of the nearest bathroom? Have you been to doctor after doctor, only to be given a diagnosis of prostatitis or chronic pelvic pain syndrome, followed by a shrug and a prescription that barely touches the pain? Have you ever been told, it's just something you have to live with? If you're nodding your head right now, I want you to know you are not alone. Millions of men worldwide are fighting this silent battle every single day. It's a battle that affects your work, your relationships, your mental health, and your ability to simply enjoy life. But what if I told you that living with it isn't the only option? What if there were natural, evidence-based tools that could help you manage the inflammation, calm the nerve pain, and finally get some relief? Stick with me for this entire video, and I promise to share with you a comprehensive deep dive into the top 10 natural supplements that have shown real promise in scientific studies and anecdotal reports for helping men just like you. This isn't about miracle cures or magic pills. This is about giving you the knowledge and the options to build a personalized strategy to potentially reduce your pain, decrease your urinary symptoms, and maybe, just maybe, start the journey towards a long-lasting remission. This information could be the key you've been searching for. So grab a notepad, get comfortable, and let's explore these options together. Before we jump in, a crucial disclaimer. I am not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. The world of supplements can be complex, and what works for one person may not work for another. It is absolutely essential that you speak with your trusted healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, especially if you have other health conditions or are taking any medications. Your safety is paramount. All right, let's get into it. We're going to count down from 10 to 1, saving some of the most powerful and well-researched options for last. Let's begin our countdown. Number 10, zinc. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a mineral that is absolutely fundamental for men's health, zinc. You might know zinc for its role in the immune system. People often take it for the common cold, but its importance for the prostate gland is second to none. In fact, a healthy prostate gland has the highest concentration of zinc of any soft tissue in the body. So, what's the connection to prostatitis? Research has shown that men with chronic prostatitis often have significantly lower levels of zinc in their prostatic fluid compared to healthy men. Some studies even found that correcting this deficiency led to an improvement in symptoms for a portion of the men treated. How does it work? Zinc plays several key roles. First, it has potent antibacterial properties. While chronic non-bacterial prostatitis is more common, a low-grade, undetected bacterial component can sometimes be a factor, and zinc helps the body fight this off. Second, and perhaps more importantly for the majority of sufferers, zinc is a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It helps regulate the body's inflammatory response, which is at the very heart of the pain and swelling associated with prostatitis. It helps protect the prostate cells from damage caused by oxidative stress. When looking for a zinc supplement, you'll see various forms like zinc picolinate, gluconate, and citrate. Zinc picolinate is often cited as being one of the more bioavailable forms, meaning your body can absorb and utilize it more effectively. A typical dosage for supplementation ranges from 15 to 30 milligrams of elemental zinc per day. It's crucial not to overdo it with zinc. Very high doses, taken long-term, can interfere with the absorption of another essential mineral, copper, and can sometimes lead to other side effects. It's best taken with a meal to avoid stomach upset. So, number 10 is zinc, a foundational mineral for prostate health that may help by fighting inflammation and supporting the gland's natural immune function. It's a simple, inexpensive first step to consider and discuss with your doctor. Number 9. Magnesium. Coming in at number 9 is another essential mineral, but this one works on a completely different axis of pain. Magnesium. Many men with chronic pelvic pain syndrome don't just have inflammation. They have a significant neuromuscular component. This means the muscles of the pelvic floor, the very muscles that support your bladder and prostate, are chronically tense, tight, and full of painful trigger points. Think of it as a permanent cramp or a Charlie horse deep inside your pelvis. This muscular tension can mimic and worsen the symptoms of prostatitis, creating that feeling of pressure, pain, and urinary urgency. This is where magnesium shines. Magnesium is nature's muscle relaxant. It plays a critical role in the function of our nerves and muscles. It acts as a natural calcium channel blocker, helping to regulate nerve impulses and prevent muscles from firing and contracting excessively. When you're deficient in magnesium, your muscles are far more prone to cramping and spasms. By supplementing with magnesium, you can help soothe this overactive pelvic floor. It can lead to a reduction in that deep, aching pain, and can even help with urinary symptoms by relaxing the muscles around the bladder and urethra, making it easier to urinate freely. There are many forms of magnesium out there, and not all are created equal for this purpose. Magnesium oxide, the cheapest form, is poorly absorbed and is more likely to have a laxative effect. You want to look for more bioavailable forms. Magnesium citrate is a good, readily available option, though it can still be a bit stool loosening for some. The gold standard for muscle and nerve issues is often considered to be magnesium glycinate or malate. These forms are bound to amino acids, making them very gentle on the stomach and highly absorbable. For dosage, many practitioners recommend starting with 200 milligrams per day and gradually working up to 400 milligrams or even 600 milligrams, usually taken in the evening, as its relaxing properties can also promote a better night's sleep. A welcome bonus for anyone whose pain keeps them up at night. So, number 9, magnesium. Don't overlook this mineral. If a major component of your pain feels muscular, tight, and spastic, introducing magnesium could be a game changer for relaxing that pelvic floor. Number 8, probiotics. At number 8, we're taking a look inside your gut. We're talking about probiotics. Now, you might be thinking, what does my digestive system have to do with my prostate pain? The answer is a lot more than you think. The concept of the gut-prostate axis is a burgeoning area of research. We now understand that the health of your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your digestive tract, has a profound impact on inflammation throughout your entire body. When your gut microbiome is out of balance, a state called dysbiosis, it can lead to a condition known as leaky gut. This is where the lining of your intestine becomes more permeable, allowing inflammatory molecules and bacterial toxins to leak into your bloodstream. Once in circulation, these inflammatory agents can travel anywhere, including the prostate and pelvic region, triggering or worsening the inflammatory response there. Furthermore, a healthy gut microbiome helps regulate your immune system, preventing it from overreacting. Many researchers now view chronic prostatitis as a type of autoimmune condition where the body's own immune system is mistakenly attacking the prostate. A balanced gut can help calm this process down. This is where probiotics come in. These are beneficial bacteria that help restore balance to your microbiome. Specifically, strains like Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium have been studied for their ability to reduce systemic inflammation. One small but fascinating Italian study gave a specific multi-strain probiotic to men with chronic bacterial prostatitis. After 12 weeks, the men taking the probiotic showed a significant improvement in symptoms and quality of life compared to the placebo group. When choosing a probiotic, don't just grab the cheapest one. Look for a high-potency, multi-strain formula that guarantees live cultures. Look for specific strains known for their anti-inflammatory properties. And it's not just about pills. Incorporating fermented foods like kefir, yogurt with live cultures, sauerkraut, and kimchi into your diet can also be incredibly beneficial. The dosage is measured in CFUs, or colony-forming units. A good therapeutic dose often starts at 20 to 50 billion CFUs per day. At number 8, probiotics. A reminder that healing the pelvis often starts with healing the gut. By rebalancing your inner ecosystem, you may be able to turn down the dial on systemic inflammation that is fanning the flames of your prostatitis. Number 7, stinging nettle root. Our number 7 pick is a plant that you definitely wouldn't want to touch on a hike, but you might want to consider putting in your supplement cabinet. We're talking about stinging nettle root. For centuries, stinging nettle has been used in traditional European medicine for urinary issues and joint pain. Modern research has focused primarily on its benefits for benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, which is the non-cancerous enlargement of the prostate. Many men with prostatitis also have a component of BPH, and the symptoms can overlap significantly. Weak stream, frequent urination, and a feeling of incomplete emptying. So how does it help? Stinging nettle root appears to work through several mechanisms. Firstly, it contains compounds that may help inhibit the conversion of testosterone into a more potent form called dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. DHT is a major driver of prostate growth in BPH. By reducing DHT levels within the prostate, nettle root may help reduce the size and urinary obstruction associated with an enlarged prostate. Secondly, and very relevant for prostatitis, stinging nettle has significant anti-inflammatory properties. It contains a variety of compounds, including flavonoids and phenolic acids, that can interfere with the body's production of pro-inflammatory chemicals. This can help reduce the swelling and pain within the prostate gland itself. It's very common to see stinging nettle root combined in formulas with our next supplement, saw palmetto, as they work on different but complementary pathways. Studies on stinging nettle for BPH have shown it can improve urinary flow rates and reduce post-void residual urine. That's the amount of urine left in your bladder after you go. While direct research on stinging nettle, specifically for chronic prostatitis/CPPS, is less robust, its proven anti-inflammatory effects and its benefits for overall urinary function make it a very logical and compelling option to consider, especially if you experience both pain and BPH-like urinary symptoms. A common dosage is 300 to 600 milligrams of a standardized root extract per day, often split into 2 doses. As always, look for a reputable brand that uses a high-quality, standardized extract to ensure you're getting a consistent and effective product. So, at number 7, we have stinging nettle root, a classic herbal remedy with modern scientific backing for improving urinary flow and fighting inflammation in the prostate. Number 6, saw palmetto. Coming in at number 6 is perhaps the most famous and widely used supplement for prostate health in the world, saw palmetto. You've likely seen this on the shelves of every pharmacy and health food store. Saw palmetto is derived from the berries of a small palm tree native to the southeastern United States. Like stinging nettle, its reputation was built on its effectiveness for BPH, or prostate enlargement. The mechanism of action is thought to be similar to stinging nettle root. It's believed to be a natural inhibitor of the enzyme 5-alpha reductase. This is the enzyme that converts testosterone to the much more potent DHT. By blocking this enzyme, saw palmetto can help reduce DHT levels in the prostate, which can alleviate the pressure on the urethra and improve urinary symptoms like frequency, urgency, and nighttime awakenings. But what about for prostatitis and chronic pelvic pain? This is where it gets interesting. While BPH is about size, prostatitis is about inflammation. Many high-quality saw palmetto extracts are rich in fatty acids and plant sterols, like beta-sitosterol, which we'll cover separately, that have demonstrated anti-inflammatory effects. They work by inhibiting inflammatory pathways in the body, similar to some non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, but in a much gentler, more natural way. A number of studies have looked at saw palmetto for chronic prostatitis. A review of several studies, published in the journal Urologia Internationalis, concluded that Serenoa repens, the botanical name for saw palmetto, showed a significant improvement in both pain and urinary symptoms in men with chronic prostatitis, along with an improvement in quality of life, and it was very well tolerated. A key to saw palmetto is quality. You cannot just buy the cheap powdered berry. You need a high-quality lipid sterolic extract, also known as a supercritical CO2 extract. This process ensures that the active fatty acids and sterols are preserved. The label should indicate that it is standardized to contain 85 to 95% fatty acids. The standard studied dosage is typically 320 milligrams per day, sometimes taken as 160 milligrams twice daily. It can take a couple of months to see the full benefits, so patience is key. Our number 6 is saw palmetto, a powerhouse supplement for overall prostate health that tackles both the urinary symptoms of BPH and the inflammation at the heart of prostatitis. Number 5. Pygeum africanum. Breaking into our top 5, at number 5 is Pygeum africanum. This is another classic prostate herb, but it comes from a different part of the world. Pygeum is an extract from the bark of the African plum tree. For centuries, African tribes have used the bark to treat bladder and urinary problems. Like saw palmetto and nettle root, Pygeum first gained fame as a treatment for BPH. It works through a slightly different but complementary mechanism. It contains a range of active compounds, including triterpenes and phytosterols, that have powerful anti-inflammatory properties. It appears to work by inhibiting the production of pro-inflammatory prostaglandins within the prostate gland. Less inflammation means less swelling, less pain, and less pressure on the urethra. But Pygeum has another interesting property. It's believed to improve the elasticity of the bladder wall. This can be a huge benefit for men who suffer from urinary urgency and frequency, as it may allow the bladder to hold more urine comfortably before sending that desperate signal to the brain that you have to go right now. Furthermore, some research suggests that Pygeum can help improve the quality of prostatic secretions. In chronic prostatitis, the secretions can become thick and stagnant, contributing to the problem. By improving the health of the glandular tissue, Pygeum may help restore a more normal function. A comprehensive review of 18 different randomized controlled trials, published by the prestigious Cochrane collaboration, found that men who took Pygeum were more than twice as likely to report an overall improvement in their urinary symptoms compared to those who took a placebo. They experienced a significant reduction in nighttime urination and an improvement in urine flow. While much of this research is on BPH, the potent anti-inflammatory effects are directly applicable to chronic prostatitis. Many men find that a combination of Pygeum with saw palmetto and nettle root creates a powerful synergistic effect, tackling the problem from multiple angles. The typical dosage is between 50 milligrams and 100 milligrams of a standardized extract, once or twice per day. Again, consistency and patience are vital. You need to give it at least 6 to 8 weeks to properly gauge its effects. So, for number 5, we have Pygeum africanum, a time-tested herbal extract from Africa that reduces inflammation, improves bladder function, and provides a crucial piece of the prostate health puzzle. Number 4, beta-sitosterol. At number 4 is a compound that is actually found in many of the plants we've already discussed, but it's so effective that it deserves its own spot on the list. We're talking about beta-sitosterol. Beta-sitosterol is a phytosterol, or plant sterol, which is a substance found naturally in almost all plants. It's present in fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. The supplements we've talked about, like saw palmetto and pygeum, contain beta-sitosterol, but you can also get it as a standalone, more concentrated supplement. Think of beta-sitosterol as the primary active ingredient for improving urinary flow. It has been extensively studied for BPH, with fantastic results. Multiple well-controlled clinical trials have shown that it can significantly improve urinary symptoms. Specifically, it's known to increase the maximum urinary flow rate and decrease the amount of residual urine in the bladder. If your primary struggle, besides the pain, is a weak, hesitant stream that just doesn't feel like it's getting the job done, beta-sitosterol is something you need to research. But how does it help with the pain of prostatitis? The mechanism is primarily anti-inflammatory. Beta-sitosterol has been shown to modulate the immune system and reduce the production of key inflammatory markers. By calming the inflammation within the prostate, it can reduce the swelling that causes both pain and urinary obstruction. One of the most compelling things about beta-sitosterol is the quality of the research. A landmark review published in the medical journal The Lancet looked at 4 high-quality, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trials and found a clear and consistent improvement in urinary symptoms and flow measures for men taking beta-sitosterol. When you buy it as a standalone supplement, you can get a more potent dose than what's typically found in a general prostate formula. Dosages used in successful clinical trials typically range from 60 milligrams to 130 milligrams of pure beta-sitosterol per day, often divided into 2 or 3 doses. It's very well tolerated with minimal side effects reported. It represents a more targeted approach. While whole herbs like pygeum and saw palmetto offer a broad spectrum of compounds, beta-sitosterol isolates one of the most powerful urinary-specific phytosterols. For its proven, significant impact on urinary flow and its potent anti-inflammatory action, beta-sitosterol comes in strong at number 4. Number 3, ryegrass pollen extract. We're into the top 3, and at number 3 is a supplement that is extremely well regarded in Europe and is gaining significant traction in the United States for prostatitis specifically. It's called ryegrass pollen extract, often sold under the brand name Sernilton. Unlike the other supplements we've discussed, which are often used for both BPH and prostatitis, ryegrass pollen extract has been most extensively studied for chronic prostatitis/chronic pelvic pain syndrome. This makes it a very targeted and important tool. Sernilton is not actually pollen in the sense that would trigger allergies. It is a specific extract from ryegrass pollen that has had the allergenic outer husk removed, leaving behind the nutrient-rich cytoplasm inside. This process concentrates the active ingredients, which include amino acids, phytosterols, and antioxidants. Its mechanism of action is multifaceted and seems tailor-made for CPPS. First, it has very powerful, documented anti-inflammatory effects. It inhibits the production of prostaglandins and leukotrienes, 2 of the main drivers of inflammation and pain in the body. This is its primary benefit for reducing the ache and discomfort of prostatitis. Second, it has an anti-proliferative effect, meaning it may help slow down the growth of prostate cells, which is relevant for coexisting BPH. Third, and perhaps most uniquely, it has been shown to have a smooth muscle relaxing effect on the urethra. This can directly combat the urinary symptoms of hesitancy and weak stream by opening up the passageway for urine to flow more freely. The clinical evidence for ryegrass pollen extract is very strong. Several well-conducted, placebo-controlled studies have shown it to be effective. For example, a study published in the British Journal of Urology found that after 6 months of treatment, patients taking the extract had statistically significant improvements in pain, urinary symptoms, and overall quality of life compared to the placebo group. Another study showed it was as effective as a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, but with far fewer side effects. Dosage is typically based on the specific formulation of serniltin, usually 1 to 2 tablets taken 2 or 3 times per day. Because it's a proprietary extract, it's important to use the specific product that has been validated in clinical trials. Ryegrass pollen extract earns its number 3 spot because of the sheer volume and quality of research focused specifically on its ability to relieve the symptoms of chronic prostatitis. It's a first-line natural therapy in many parts of the world for a very good reason. Number 2, quercetin. Our runner-up at number 2 is a potent antioxidant and bioflavonoid called quercetin. If your primary symptom is pain, a constant, burning, inflammatory pain, then quercetin is one of the most important supplements to learn about. Quercetin is a natural pigment found in many plants, fruits, and vegetables. Think of things like onions, apples, capers, kale, and green tea. It's a major reason why diets rich in these foods are so healthy. However, to get a therapeutic dose for a condition like prostatitis, you need to take it in supplement form. Quercetin's primary superpower is its ability to stabilize mast cells. Mast cells are part of your immune system, and when they are triggered by stress, allergens, or inflammation, they release a flood of inflammatory chemicals, including histamine. In many men with CPPS, the prostate and pelvic tissues are loaded with these overactive mast cells, creating a vicious cycle of inflammation and pain. Quercetin essentially puts a shield around these mast cells, preventing them from degranulating and releasing their painful contents. On top of that, quercetin is a powerful antioxidant and has broad anti-inflammatory properties, inhibiting COX enzymes and other inflammatory pathways, much like a natural NSAID. The evidence for quercetin is compelling. The first major study was a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial conducted at the Institute for Male Urology. Men with chronic prostatitis were given either 500 milligrams of quercetin or a placebo twice a day for 1 month. The results were striking. 67% of the men taking quercetin had at least a 25% improvement in their symptoms, compared to only 20% in the placebo group. The lead researcher of that study concluded that quercetin, due to its anti-inflammatory and mast cell stabilizing properties, could be a safe and effective treatment for men with chronic pelvic pain syndrome. For best results, quercetin is often formulated with bromelain, an enzyme from pineapple that also has anti-inflammatory properties and is thought to enhance the absorption of quercetin. A typical dosage is 500 milligrams of quercetin, taken 2 to 3 times per day, ideally on an empty stomach to maximize absorption. Quercetin is our number 2 because it directly targets the inflammatory and mast cell-driven pain that is the hallmark of so many men suffering. It's one of the most scientifically backed, non-herbal, natural compounds for this specific condition. Number 1, curcumin. And that brings us to our number 1 supplement for helping to manage prostatitis and chronic pelvic pain. This is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory substances ever discovered. We are talking about curcumin. Curcumin is the main active compound in the bright yellow spice, turmeric. Turmeric has been used for thousands of years in Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine to treat a vast array of inflammatory conditions. Modern science has now figured out why. Curcumin is a powerhouse. Chronic prostatitis, at its core, is a disease of chronic inflammation, and curcumin is the king of anti-inflammatories. It works on a fundamental level. It is able to block a molecule called NF-kappa B. NF-kappa B is like a master switch for inflammation in our cells. When you turn it on, it activates genes related to inflammation. Most chronic diseases, from heart disease to arthritis to prostatitis have an active NF-kappa B pathway. Curcumin effectively walks into the control room and pulls the master lever to shut that pathway down. Its effects are not mild. Studies have shown that the anti-inflammatory potency of high-dose curcumin can be comparable to some pharmaceutical anti-inflammatory drugs, but without the harsh side effects on the stomach and kidneys. But it doesn't stop there. Curcumin is also an incredibly potent antioxidant, neutralizing the free radicals that cause cellular damage and pain. It also has been shown to modulate nerve pain, which is a huge component of CPPS for many men. The challenge with curcumin has always been bioavailability. On its own, your body doesn't absorb it very well. That's why you absolutely must buy a formula designed for enhanced absorption. Look for formulations that include piperine black pepper extract, or are bound to phospholipids, phytosomes, or use other patented delivery systems like Mariva, BCM95, or Theracurmin. These can increase absorption by up to 2,000% or more, allowing the curcumin to get into your bloodstream and do its job. Numerous studies support curcumin's use for inflammatory conditions. While direct, large-scale trials on prostatitis are still emerging, the overwhelming evidence of its mechanism of action makes it a top recommendation from countless integrative and functional medicine doctors for this condition. Small studies have shown promising results, with patients reporting significant reductions in pain and improvements in quality of life. A standard dosage of a high bioavailability curcumin extract is typically 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams, taken 1 to 3 times per day. Curcumin takes the #1 spot because it addresses the most fundamental driver of this condition, chronic inflammation, more powerfully and through more pathways than almost any other natural substance. It's safe, effective, and backed by an enormous body of scientific research. It is a true cornerstone of any natural approach to fighting prostatitis and chronic pelvic pain. So there you have it: zinc, magnesium, probiotics, stinging nettle, saw palmetto, pygeum, beta-sitosterol, ryegrass pollen, quercetin, and curcumin. That was a lot of information, I know, but I hope you see the common threads: reducing inflammation, relaxing muscles, supporting urinary flow, and restoring balance to the body. The most important thing I want you to take away from this is hope, and the second is the principle of bio-individuality. Your body is unique. Your journey with this condition is unique. The supplement that proves to be a miracle for one man might do nothing for you, and the one that he overlooked might be the key to your relief. This is not about giving up. It's about becoming a detective for your own health. It's about continuing to search, to experiment safely under the guidance of a doctor, and to listen to your body. Don't let anyone tell you that you just have to live with it. Keep fighting, keep learning, keep trying, because finding what helps you is what matters. This journey can be isolating, but it's a journey you don't have to take alone. If you found this video helpful, if it gave you even one new idea or a renewed sense of hope, please give it a like. It truly helps the channel and allows this information to reach more men who need to hear it. And please, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into men's health. Most importantly, share your experience in the comments below. What has helped you? What supplements have you tried? What has worked? What hasn't? Your comment could be the one that helps another viewer find the relief they've been desperately searching for. Let's build a community of support right here. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Stay strong and never give up. I'll see you in the next video.